I got these for $55 scrolling on Instagram. And it's crazy. Technology is getting cheaper, and it's not getting worse though. It's getting more affordable basically across a lot of different spaces in 2024, like specifically audio, and that's headphones, earbuds, companies like Soundcore, Soundpeats, nothing, right? And now Baseus have really pushed the level of what's to be expected when it comes to a budget set of headsets or headphones or earbuds, whatever the case may be. These are the Baseus Bowie 30 Maxes, and they give you all of the technology that you can expect to find in a more expensive type of headset. And I'm talking Sonos Ace, Sony XM5, etc. But they give them to you for a very cheap price. The retail price on these is $79. I paid $55 on one of those Instagram apps, and you're in the stories and you're scrolling and they show you something. So I got these for dirt cheap. Mind you, the last two headphones I reviewed on this channel were the Sonos Ace, which are $449, and the Noom Ones, which are $299. And also, not just that, but on my flip profile, I talked about that 2 videos back. It's in the description below. I reviewed in the last month and a half, maybe 2 months, the Beat Solo 3s, the JBL Live 460s, the Edifier W820 NBs, JLab Studio Pros, the Urbanista Los Angeles solar powered headphones, and we're talking $50 to $500. And next I'll be reviewing. I had to run and get these real quick, but next I'm going to be reviewing these, which are the Noble Audio Focus Apollo. These are $649 headphones, and I say all that to say that all the ones I've reviewed in like the last 2 months, and I've been reviewing headphones for a while, but the last 2 months, these are all over the ear headphones that I've mentioned, and those are anywhere from $50 so far to about $449, and then of course those are going to be $650. So what I'm getting at is I've covered a gambit of them, and when I say that these are up there in sound and quality, with a ton of features, they are. They're not like when we talk about the build next. The build quality is what it is. When you look at the design of this, okay, it's plastic. So a lot of this is plastic. The hinges are kind of the old style. They've got a 120-degree swivel right here. Nice range right here. They do fold up like that. One really weird thing that I don't like about these is look at that headband. That headband is freaking weird looking. It's like, it's wild. It's like, but it can fit any type of head. But that's not the important part. But all of the buttons are on one side for the most part. You got your power button, you have your volume up and down, and then your media or the multi button right there. And then on the left hand side, you have this button right here, which is ANC spatial, ANC on and off in transparency mode. At the bottom, you got your 3.5 and your USB-C charging port, and that's for on the right hand side. And when you turn them on, as far as like the looks, there's a nice little soft LED light right there that lets you know. And there's of course, not of course, but there are some vocal like power on, ANC on, like those type of things as well. So the build is pretty good. It's pretty solid. You don't got to worry about that. But this shape right there drives me crazy. That shape, but that's not really matters. What really matters, right? It's the features and the sound that matter. So let's cover all the tech you get real quick. First and foremost, active noise cancellation is pretty good. It's not the best, but it is extremely noticeable. It takes care of like ambient noises, like things you hear off to the side, like, fans and dryers and microwaves and different stuff like that. Where it struggles is loud voice. And I can say, like, put these on, you pretty much, the rest of the stuff around you is kind of deadened and gone. But like a loud voice, you're going to hear it still. It's not going to be like where it's like it's not cutting out anything, but you're going to still hear it. Transparency mode on these is really good. Transparency mode picks up pretty much everything around you. I'll put these on. Like what I did was I sat around the house during Sunday football, Saturday football, and I had these on, and I would turn the transparency mode on to listen around, then I would turn on the noise canceling. And I would turn the transparency, and I would kind of go back and forth between those and kind of see what that sounded like. And so that's why I know the noise canceling is good. Now I have a house, I have 6 children and my wife, and then we had football and stuff going. So loud house, very loud. So those 2 modes are really good. There's 3 different audio, like hi-fi. So you can do hi-fi audio, which is like plug in. You can plug it in and you can pick up like hi-fi audio coming out of a player. Then there's hi-fi wireless audio, where again it's like you can pick up hi-fi, right, audio, whatever that looks like, wirelessly through the Bluetooth, and it's Bluetooth 5.4, so it's the latest Bluetooth. And then it has LDAC, so it can pick up LDAC. Now you're gonna have to have Android to pick up LDAC. You do get lossless audio through Apple Music on iOS. 65 hours of battery power with these, and that's like at 70%. There's fine print always to that, so that's at 70% volume with everything off. So noise canceling off, none of the spatial audio stuff on, just pure just music, 70% volume, and that's not with the extreme bass on either. There's 2 microphones, one on each side, and you can't really tell where it's at because there's kind of like this design around the edges, so the microphone could be anywhere in there, but there's 2 microphones, one on each side, and that's for ENC, for basically like removing noise for phone calls. This is me testing out the Baseus Bowie 30 Maxes. Now this is Bluetooth, so there's 2 microphones that's picking up the sound. This is kind of what you can expect. These are never one-to-one type tests because this versus a phone call is going to sound different because of the network and all of those different things, but this is kind of what you can expect from this as far as the voice that it picks up through these microphones. What's really impressive, one of the first things that's super impressive about these is they're 50 millimeter drivers, which is the size of the speaker for lack of better terms. And not only are they 50 millimeter drivers, they're tuned well. We'll get to that in a second. They're tuned well. They sound really good. And they give you that super enhanced bass. That is a good bass. We'll talk about that in a second when we get to the sound. There's low latency mode on this as well, and that's for like gaming as well as, you know, watching like YouTube content, things like that, making sure that there's no delay in what you're hearing versus lips moving and stuff like that. There's a full app, right? There's a Baseus app that you can use, and it has 5 presets, and then there's options for customizing EQs, and it's an above average EQ, so it's not like treble bass and then like left right like the damn Sonos Ace. It is an actual, like, I want to say 7 or 8 points of EQ that you can change all the way from the low range to the high range, so you can really customize it. And it's a fully functional EQ, meaning if you push the different frequencies up, it's also going to add gain to those frequencies, so it can make the volume louder as well. So it's not just, you know, it's not just there for looks. It is pretty full. It's not as nice as the last pair of headphones that I did, which were the Noom ones, as far as like being able to change the band, like the EQ band width and add gain, but still really nice EQ. And the biggest thing, the biggest shock is the Baseus Pro spatial audio with head tracking. Now, Baseus Pro audio with head tracking is basically that technology where you can put this on, you turn on head tracking, and you can put a, so for instance, you can put a fixed point right there, and that's the fixed point, and then you turn and the audio stays right there. Or you can have like the full on head tracking where you turn your head to the left and the audio stays there. Turn your audio to the right and the audio stays there. And some people see that as gimmicky. Some people see that as like, it's not a big deal. But what I will tell you is that you usually don't see that unless it's like top tier type tech, right? And so, I mean, that's in my, you know, my Apple AirPod Pro 2s and my Sonos Ace and stuff like that. And those are, you know, $250 and $449 respectively, right? So this is $55 we're talking about right here. And I think overall it's very interesting that tech, like active noise canceling, transparency, nice good Bluetooth like 5.3, 5.4 where there's multi-device connect, etc. Like things like that, it's starting to become the norm. But Baseus, it's not sponsored. I pay for these. they shocked me with having that in a pair of $55 headphones. Like I said, I've only seen that in Sonos, AirPod Pro 2s, XM, stuff like that. But aside from that, I think it's a typical cycle we're starting to see where new companies are coming in as budget, like brand new companies are coming in as budget, and then they consistently produce like good tech, and then they slowly creep up in cost, and eventually they start being like one of those top brands and they're starting to be more expensive. What I'm noticing in the top tier brands, right, when we talk about in the consumer level, right, the average consumer level, the Sonys, places like that, what I'm noticing is that the finishes of the products are better, meaning like better materials, shape and design. It's like the way that they look. Like I talked about that headband, like looking crazy. So like those things. And then when you look at like the app is usually a much better experience, meaning the user interface, which is kind of how you navigate the app, like how you go from home page to the next feature and stuff like that, what it looks like, right? The flow of it, all of that. Bigger brands basically give you a more polished product, and that's all the way down to like the accessories, like braided cables and stuff like that, right? And so they have a bigger budget, and so they're going to give you a more polished all-around product, but they don't always give you the best sound. Just because they're a big brand, and this, that's where these come in. They have a really nice sound here. And that's at 50%. And that's at 100%. But anyway, do me a favor, join the Cozy Coalition and subscribe below if you're new to the channel. Also, a like will go a long way in helping the algorithm. And of course, watching more content. And I'll have some of that stuff tagged up in the corner or at the end of the video, of course. It tells YouTube that you're enjoying yourself and you're satisfied with my content. But as always, stay cozy in that crazy world. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.